The seventh eruption in the Sudnuka crater area in Iceland this year, and the eighth eruption in total since the last 12 months, because basically we just had the anniversary November 10th when this all started with this huge magma intrusion. So here's the latest, guys. RUV has made an interesting map that shows you where exactly is this located, and what we see is the location is between Stora Skogfell and Sillingerfell, and the fissure has expanded. It's now 3 kilometers long, but it hasn't expanded as rapidly as the last eruption that started last August. So the lava flow is significant, we can say that, but also not as fast flowing as the last eruption. So what we can say is this eruption for now is smaller than the last eruption, and it happened earlier than everyone thought, right? The scientists just said yesterday that they think it's going to be a Christmas eruption. Well, it wasn't. That volcano surprises us. And what I like about this volcano basically keeps erupting when I just woke up. You know, I'm a night owl, guys. I release my videos sometimes at 5 a.m. And so this volcano is doing this in my favor, that it's not erupting when I'm sleeping. So for now, I've always caught the eruptions basically right when they started. This time I had a little bit of a delay because I was taking care of my sick dog Apollo, but still within half an hour range I caught it. And of course I alerted you, I sent you emails. For those of you who follow me on my buymeacoffee.com website, you can follow for free. I'll send you out alerts when something like this happens. So the link is in the description of this video, by the way. So there are a few interesting videos and pictures that have been released from this eruption. I'll show you one here. That is a video that has been taken from Reykjanes. Reykjanes is the road the major highway on the Reykjanes peninsula that connects Reykjavik and the Keflavik airport. So from that road, you always see these eruptions, the glowing skies. So it's quite interesting to see. So it's still an impressive one, even if it's smaller than the last one, that I have to say, right? And I've got little Apollo sitting here. He has a little bit of trouble with the mucus in his throat because, unfortunately, of the tumor that we discovered there, but we're on it, we're fighting it. So if you hear this snorting sort of noise, it's him, because that tumor is kind of destroying these little hair particles that filter and move down the mucus. So yeah, poor guy. Hopefully we'll be able to help him. There's a picture here that shows the evacuation that was happening. So you can see they've done this with buses again. So this was all working very well, went all smoothly. The last staff that was leaving the Svartsengi area, the power plant area, was just before midnight. So 45 minutes after the eruption has started. And I want to show you a picture here. This is how the eruption looks from the town of Grindavík. There you see, it's not that far away. If you look at the map, it always looks like that it's further than it actually is. But when you actually see it from the view of the town, it gives you a different perspective, and it shows you it's really close. So for now, no lava flow is threatening the town of Grindavík, but that could change if the eruption will last longer. And then there's also it seems this time no live cam has covered the start of the eruption. Just the RUV webcam, they have then turned the camera, and they have basically kind of made a time lapse of once they started to cover the eruption, how this went. So yeah, that fissures always, they start out smaller and then they start expanding, but at least I didn't see one. Usually they caught it pretty good. So yeah. And then we have another point where it was seen, another RUV reporter has made a video from Flugvalla Vegur. That's another road. I'll show you where that road is here on the map. So it looks really very, very impressive. So for now, it seems that the eruption is still moving further north. And this is a picture of how this area looked at daytime before this eruption started. So there you see this area. So, and what the scientists have just said, they think it's unlikely that the fissure will even extend further. So Magnus Tumi Gudmundsson, he's professor of geophysics. He has flown with a Coast Guard helicopter over the eruption, and he says the eruption is similar to the ones that we already have seen this year. Fissure is roughly 3 kilometers long, extends from Sillingerfell to north of Stora Skogfell, a bit smaller than the last eruption. And he says this eruption is basically similar to the eruptions that we have seen in March and December. Grindavík is not in danger as it looks of right now, and he thinks it's unlikely that the crack will even get longer, but they're also always stressing we cannot rule out anything, it can change. Time will tell if that lava tongue that is spreading out will reach Grindavik og Vegur, the access road to Svartsengi, the Blue Lagoon, and the power plant. So far, no danger for the major highway Reykjanes route. The eruption is not threatening it in any way. They cannot give us any predictions of how long they think this eruption will last. They say the longest eruption that we have had so far started in March and ended in May. But we have to see how it behaves. Although it's smaller right now, that doesn't mean that it's also very, very short. We just don't know. But there is something surprising about this eruption, and that's what they're saying. What is interesting is it was how little warning time there was for this eruption. Basically, they say there is clearly very little chance of an eruption in this area. That's what they thought. The land rise was not as far progressed in a position as it was in the last eruption. And in the last eruption, the land rise was getting even more before we saw the next eruption. So the magma chamber was getting fuller and fuller from eruption to eruption. It needed more magma in the magma chamber until another one was triggered. But this time that was not the case. It didn't do that right now. So that's a little bit surprising for them. And definitely, yeah, they can do more analyzing now and try to find out more about this, but I don't think that this volcano is giving them too much of a pattern. So it still catches everyone by surprise. Here's an interesting picture where you can see how the lava is approaching Grindavik og Vegur. They said it's roughly like 700 meters away right now. No impact on air traffic so far, so that is good. And then I want to show you some pictures that have been taken out of the Coast Guard helicopter, where you can see from there the fissure looks a little bit longer than it looks from the ground pictures, and you can see where the lava is flowing. So very, very interesting. And it just looks, these nighttime eruptions, it just looks like magical when this glowing lava is spreading out into the darkness, so to speak. So it seems that volcano likes to make an entrance, likes to show itself always at nighttime. So it's really, really nice looking, and we can say that because it's not threatening any people or infrastructure. So basically for now we can say it's a beautiful thing to watch. Definitely. The mayor of Grindavik was very surprised about this eruption. He was not thinking that this would happen in November. They were thinking maybe even a Christmas eruption. So that's why 50 to 60 homes in Grindavik were occupied. But the evacuation went smoothly, everyone's out, so no real danger. But definitely the civil defense has, of course, declared a state of emergency. That's what they always do, because there's always a chance that another fissure could open anywhere else. We've seen this in January when something all of a sudden opened up very close to Grindavik, burned down a few homes. So we don't know, and we don't know. They're trying to make lava flow models as we speak so that they know where will be the most flow. So state of emergency has definitely been declared. The Civil Defense Coordination Center has been activated. So yeah, guys, I was rivaling a little bit with Rudi. He wanted to do the live coverage and the live video that I just did about the eruption. So he's a little bit mad at me. That's why he's looking away, because he put himself in position with the eruption, and he really thought it would have been a great idea if he had moderated everything. Maybe next time, Rudi. So what Rudi and I can say, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I will release more updates during the night about this eruption and what is going on. And in the meantime, maybe you want to check out the videos here in the end screen. Rudi, say bye. Okay, Eddie's saying bye. Oh, he jumps.